Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Most of upstate New York will be under freeze warning going into tomorrow morning. Good evening. I'm Noah Eagle.
And I'm Jack Watson. The freeze warning will be in effect from midnight tonight until 10 in the morning. We have lows in the high 20s tonight with, get this, a chance for snow. Our weather anchor Riley Burg is here to give us all the details. Riley?
Well, let me tell you guys, I'm going to sleep in my onesie, jacket, full hat and gloves tonight. As Jack said, those temperatures are expected to be in the 20s with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. The rain-snow mix will start around 10 p.m., then be back again around 12 a.m., and then those clouds are just expected until 7 a.m., where we'll see a couple of light flurries before that sun starts to peek back out. And Thursday morning, you can expect a little bit of a rain and a snow mix, but please, there's not expected to be ice. So just whether you're going outside, whether you're driving, whether you're walking on your morning commute, even though that ice isn't expected, just please be cautious on your morning commute. And if you have an early morning, make sure to bundle up and wear your rain boots or your snow boots. And wondering what the afternoon is going to bring and if the snow is going to stay here for good? Stay tuned. I'll tell you what to expect in my full weather forecast.
All right, thanks so much, Riley. Some Greek life organizations may be acting without SU recognition. That's according to Dean of Students Robert Raucci in an email to parents and faculty members, family members of SU students.
The email says to keep a lookout for non-university affiliated organizations as students look to join Greek life. Raucci says SU does not provide oversight to unrecognized organizations and to visit the Fraternity and Sorority Affairs website to verify a Greek life organization status.
Syracuse Stage is hosting the worldwide debut of a new play, Possessing Harriet. The play is set in Syracuse in 1839 and tells the story of the young slave who inspired Elizabeth Cady Stanton to become an abolitionist. CitrusTV reporter Carmella Boykin sat down with the show commissioner and artistic director to discuss the production process.
When it came to choosing a play to bring into full production, what made you guys choose Possessing Harriet?
Well, it had been commissioned by the Onondaga Historical Association, I think, 5 years ago?
Yes.
And I've been here, this is my third season, and so I became familiar with Kyle Bass's play. Kyle is our Associate Artistic Director, and I felt like, first of all, because Kyle is our Associate Artistic Director, it's important for Kyle's voice to be front and center in our programming. And then when I read Possessing Harriet and the great work that had been done prior to my arrival, I felt like this was a story that really needed to be told on our stage. It's compelling, it's powerful, and even though it's about Syracuse history, it very much speaks to today. So I really wanted it to be part of our season.
So the story takes place in Syracuse and is debuting in Syracuse. So what do you hope that audiences take away?
I hope that people will recognize that we have issues that we need to deal with in this community and in this country. I hope that people will, as Bob said, realize that history happened here, right here. This play is about a conversation that helped to set a woman on her path to seek freedom and justice for millions.
Thanks so much, Carmella. The play debuts tonight at 7:30 at the Syracuse Stage and will run through November 4th. Ticket prices are available at the Stage box office or the website at syracusestage.org.
The Hunter Watson Memorial Fund is visiting Syracuse today in coordination with the Phi Kappa Psi. The fund supports safe driving campaigns using money donated following the death of Hunter Watson, a college student killed in a car accident. Watson's father, Jerry, was at one of the booths and had more info on the cause.
And so this is the third year they've been doing this, and it's resulted in getting thousands of students to sign pledges not to drive distracted. So this campaign is saving lives.
Alumni, listen up. This weekend is for you. It's Alumni Weekend, and Orange Central is the annual homecoming of Orange alumni, and SU is busy this week redecorating campus for the occasion. SU alums are invited to take part in activities, lectures, and tours this weekend. Plus, Syracuse will host North Carolina Tar Heels in the Dome on Saturday at 12:20 p.m. in football.
If you look around Syracuse, it's currently lacking a kind of storefront that's seen in just about every other city across the country. CitrusTV's Ali Heath found out what the city is trying to do to make downtown a little more flavorful.
I think I'll get the kale salad Restaurants on wheels, found on street corners across the country. Food trucks bring unique flavors to those walking the streets of a new place or people out on a quick lunch break.
It's nice to, when the person, you go there, and it's usually the people who care about that menu and their whole thing, and then try to make something special for you.
Pam Dwyer owns the Ladybug Lunchbox in Syracuse, but she's currently the only truck in town. The reason why?
It's been the same fee forever.
She's talking about the permit fee to operate a food truck in Syracuse, which hasn't changed in over a decade. It's $1,500. And for other trucks in the area, it's a steep price to pay, especially since you're not guaranteed a parking spot with a permit.
But before more food trucks like the Ladybug Lunchbox can come to town, they had to come to City Hall to discuss changes to permit ordinances that would make it easier for them to move into the city.
The Syracuse Common Council is currently working with food truck owners to try and make it easier for them to move downtown, and council member Michael Green has been leading the effort.
We had one food truck in the entire city of 145,000 people operating in the right of way. So it was clear that I think the regulations that we had were not working successfully.
PB&J's Lunchbox owner and Syracuse Food Truck Association member Pat Orr says the permit fee is the only thing keeping the 20-plus trucks in the association out of downtown. The association holds events in surrounding areas that Orr says were very successful.
So that means people in Syracuse, they want food trucks. Every other city has it. It's not something to be afraid of. It's just a small business. You're a small business trying to make a living and providing good food.
Green says the Common Council is working to get the new regulations passed so trucks can move into Syracuse before it gets too cold for them to operate. Reporting in Syracuse, I'm Allie Heath, CitrusTV News.
Great stuff, Allie. And breaking this evening, CNBC is reporting that New York Attorney General Barbara Underwood is opening a probe into Helios and Matheson, the parent company of MoviePass. According to the report, the probe will investigate allegations that the company is misleading its investors. We will keep you updated on this developing story. There's a new show in town, at the Landmark Theater. Fiddler on the Roof makes its debut at the theater tonight, and the Tony Award-winning musical began its Broadway performances more than 50 years ago. It has over 3,000 performances to its name. The musical will run at the Landmark Theater through Friday. The Jefferson Center in downtown Syracuse is being redone, and the downtown property will undergo a redevelopment project that will reportedly turn the building into retail and office space. The developers will also want to add 2 floors with just under 30 apartments. Now, according to Syracuse.com, the developers will seek a state grant of over $1 million to help fund the project.
And a new conviction in connection with former top Cuomo aide Joseph Percoco. Peter Kelly is receiving a sentence of 14 months in prison after reportedly admitting to a conspiracy charge. Kelly is a former energy executive and pleaded guilty last May. A benefit concert is scheduled for victims and responders to the deadly limo crash in Schoharie. The October 6th crash killed a total of 20 people. The concert will be held on October 28th from 2 to 4 in the afternoon at Mohawk Harbor and will feature numerous musical guests. A nearby brewery will donate all of its proceeds from beer sales at the event and half of all customer checks from meals and drinks in the restaurant. And the sentencing of a hit-and-run suspect is being delayed. 31-year-old Anthony Saccone is accused in the deaths of 3 young people near Onondaga Community College. Saccone admitted to drinking and driving before crashing his car into another car at 80 miles an hour, then fleeing the scene. Saccone has until Friday to find new legal representation after firing his lawyer, and then his sentencing date will be determined. And an Albany teacher is planning to sue her school district for alleged retaliation after she made comments about having a wife. Tammy Crump has taught at Shenandoah High School for 17 years and had, quote, an unblemished record prior to the incident. Officials allege that Crump engaged in misconduct and cited her discussions of personal life as examples. Crump says she is being punished for conversations that heterosexual teachers regularly have.
The Mega Millions jackpot continues its astronomical rise. The lottery's grand prize is now $868 million after no one claimed Tuesday's prize of nearly $670 million. One second prize winner on Long Island won $1 million yesterday, and more than 10 tickets in New York State won a $10,000 prize.
And coming up, new developments in the death of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, the information Turkish officials leaked.
And a mass shooting in Crimea leaves at least 19 people dead. Citrus TV News will be right back.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. We have new details on the death of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi today. A senior Turkish official described an audio recording of Khashoggi's death inside the Saudi consulate in Turkey. According to the recording, Khashoggi's murderers severed the journalist's fingers before beheading and dismembering him.
The 15 suspects have ties to the Saudi crown prince, but Saudi officials have strongly denied any connection to the murder. Saudi Arabia is now launching an investigation into this matter as this video shows Saudi investigators arriving at the consulate today.
And back in the U.S., President Trump is under fire for not condemning alleged Saudi involvement. Now, Trump says that he is not covering for Saudi Arabia, but is instead waiting for the results of the investigation into the murder.
No, not at all. No, I just want to find out what's happening. They're an important ally, but I want to find out what happened, where is the fault, and we will probably know that by the end of the week.
A Treasury Department employee is being accused of leaking confidential banking reports of suspects in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation.
Natalie Edwards is a senior official at the department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. The reports say the reports she allegedly leaked include materials on Paul Manafort and suspected Russian agent Maria Butina.
Edwards is currently on administrative leave.
A disease with the worst symptoms of polio is sprouting across the nation. The U.S. Center for Disease Control is confirming 62 cases across 22 states and is investigating a further 65 reported cases.
The disease, called AFM, affects a person's nervous system and causes weakness in both the arms and the legs.
Right, and AFM primarily targets children under 18.
The plane carrying First Lady Melania Trump had to turn around this morning due to smoke in the cabin.
According to a CBS White House correspondent, there was smoke and a burning smell about 10 minutes after the plane took off. The plane was heading to Philadelphia from Maryland.
The First Lady was slated to meet families affected by the opiate crisis in Philadelphia.
And 2 people are dead because of devastating flooding in the state of Texas this week. Governor Greg Abbott issued disaster declarations for 18 counties because of the torrential rain.
Floodgates have been opened at dams around the state, concerning residents around the lakes close to the areas. Particularly vulnerable is Lake Travis near Austin, which could flood homes near it by 12 feet of water.
And the heavy rain is expected to continue at least through Friday.
An Uber driver is facing life in prison after groping and kidnapping a woman. The incident allegedly took place in February when Harriet Parmar picked up a woman in Manhattan for a short trip home.
Prosecutors say the woman then fell asleep and woke up with Parmar in the backseat groping her. He then allegedly drove all the way to New Haven, Connecticut before leaving her on the side of the interstate.
She was then charged upward of $1,000 for the trip. Uber condemned the incident and says it's cooperating fully with the investigation.
And a shooting in the Russian annexed territory of Crimea left 19 people dead and at least 50 injured.
A Russian official says a student opened fire at bystanders before shooting and killing himself. There are also reports of an explosive device.
Russian authorities first classified the shooting as a terror attack, but then recently changed the classification to a mass murder.
And an Indian government official is stepping down from office as a result of the country's Me Too movement today.
MJ Akbar, a junior external affairs minister, resigned after accusations from 20 women of sexual harassment when he was working as a news editor.
Now, Akbar denies allegations and plans to challenge them in court. India's Me Too movement is a recent phenomenon in a socially conservative society.
And staying in India now, mobs are trying to overturn a Supreme Court ruling by force. The Indian Supreme Court ruled that all women are able to go inside one of the country's holiest Hindu temples, which previously banned women from entering.
However, protesters gathered outside and turned women away with threats and attacks. Several women and police officers were injured as protesters threw stones at them.
The initial case which overturned the ban was filed by female college students in 2016.
So you just watched one of the first ever legal purchases of marijuana in Canada, and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau fulfilled one of his campaign pledges to keep the drug away from underage users and criminals through legalization.
And people over the age of 18 can carry and share up to 30 grams of legal marijuana publicly. They can also cultivate up to 4 plants in their households depending on the province they live in.
Now, it's important to note that traveling in and out of Canada with marijuana is still illegal, even if you travel to one of the 8 U.S. states where the drug is currently legal. Coming up, your latest Central New York weather. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. Right now, throughout Central New York, we're seeing a lot of temperatures in the 40s. So we got a high of 46 in Penn, Elmira, and Binghamton, and then lows of 42 in Rochester and Cortland. And moving into Syracuse right now, we're seeing some rain. Unfortunately, that rain is going to stick around until about 9 p.m. tonight, and then like I said, it'll stop and come back around 10 p.m. where we'll start to see that rain and that snow mix. We're seeing about 17 miles an hour per wind gusts right now. Like I said, that is going to get worse as we go into the night. Those are going to increase to about 30 degrees. And looking at tonight, again, clouds throughout most of the night. We will see those rain and snow mixes periodically, but it is pretty much going to be overcast throughout the night. And moving into tomorrow, do not let the sun fool you. It is gonna be a cold one outside. For your morning commute, we're looking at about 34 degrees outside. It's gonna be sunny. Like I said, don't be fooled. Prepare for a coat, bring your boots out, maybe even a hat. And going into noon, you'll see some clouds. We're warming up just a little bit, 39 degrees, and then it's going to be overcast by about 6 p.m. where we're seeing a little rise in temperature, about 41 degrees. But if you're wondering if that snow is coming back, stay tuned. I'll have it for you in my 5-day forecast.
Coming up in sports, Syracuse football is back on the field this weekend. But what position is Dino Babers looking for to step up? Plus, I'll give you an update on playoff baseball. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. I'm JD Raucci with sports. SU football is officially halfway through the regular season, but it seems like the Orange are missing something they've had at this time in each of the last 2 years, and that's an All-American wide receiver. There isn't an Amba Editawo or a Steve Ishmael on this Syracuse team, but for Dino Babers, that just means the game plan changes ever so slightly.
If you've got somebody that's going to stand out, as you would say, it's as easy as just throwing the ball up there and they can make a play for you. So why not go ahead and do that? But if you don't have anybody standing out, then until someone does stand out, that the ball normally gets spread around until someone comes to the forefront that says, hey, if you haven't noticed yet, I'm Michael Jordan and you need to get me the ball more. Well, we're still looking for Michael.
It's been a real wideout by committee effort this season for SU. 5 players already have 10 catches this season, but none of them have more than 26. They all get their next chance to try to claim the title of His Airness this Saturday when MJ's alma mater, North Carolina, comes to town for a 12-20 matchup. Meanwhile, the Bills have a new starting quarterback. Earlier today, Sean McDermott announced that veteran signal caller Derek Anderson will be the starter for Sunday's game against the Colts. If you remember, original starter Josh Allen hurt his elbow last Sunday, and then backup Nathan Peterman tossed a pick 6 that lost the game for Buffalo. This will be Anderson's first appearance with the Bills since being signed 2 weeks ago. Playoff baseball already underway, and the Milwaukee Brewers are off to a great start today. A 1-0 lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers out at Dodger Stadium. Lorenzo Cain, 0 for 11 in the first couple of games of this series. He's stepping up big today, an RBI double in the 3rd inning. And, you know, something else that's been really impressive today for the Brewers has been Brandon Woodruff, the relief pitcher. Wade Miley got the start for Milwaukee, only lasted a batter. Since then, Woodruff in relief has not given up a single hit. We'll also have American League Championship Series action tonight. The Red Sox look to add to their 2-1 series lead when they take on the Astros in Game 4 at 8:30. And the Stros will be looking for some better pitching tonight. Houston boasts one of the most talented pitching staffs in the league, but have given up a combined 15 runs in the last 2 games. Charlie Morton takes the mound for the Astros opposite Rick Porcello for the Sox. The NBA season officially kicked off yesterday, and a former SU basketball star may just get his chance to make his mark in the association this year. Michael Benajay will reportedly be back with the Warriors' G League affiliate in Santa Cruz this season. He averaged 9 points and 3 rebounds for the team in 28 games last year. And speaking of the NBA, it's also officially back in the Big Apple tonight. The Knicks open up their 2018 campaign this evening when the Atlanta Hawks come to town. A couple of big firsts tonight for New York. This game will be David Fizdale's first regular season game as the Knicks head coach. It's also the first time that New York fans get to see 2018 first-round pick Kevin Knox in action. The rookie averaged just over 8 points a game in the preseason. The Nets also get their season going tonight. Brooklyn takes a trip out to the Motor City to take on the Pistons at 7, but we won't be seeing a full cast of characters for the Nets. Alan Crabb won't play tonight with an ankle injury he suffered in the preseason. DeMare Carroll and Shabazz Napier also won't play tonight for Brooklyn, and that's not to mention that Rondé Hollis-Jefferson is still questionable with an abductor strain. Rounding out the basketball news for the night, Syracuse sophomore O'Shea Brissett is on the watch list for the Irving Award. The award is named after Hall of Famer Julius Erving and honors the best small forward in college basketball. Brissett is one of 20 players nominated for the award.
All right, our sports reporter JD Raucci. JD, thank you so much. We'll be right back here on Citrus TV News.
It's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Got a quarter?
And looking at our 5-day forecast, unfortunately, snow is back on the radar for Sunday. We'll see that high of about 41. It's going to be a cold one throughout this week, so bundle up.
Thanks so much, Riley. After 50 years of service to Sesame Street, the voice behind Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch is making a turn onto Retirement Avenue.
That's right, Jack. Original Big Bird actor Carol Spinney is 84 years old and was part of the show since its pilot episode in 1969, a nice career. NPR says Spinney met Muppets creator Jim Henson at a puppetry festival in 1962. That's when Henson invited Spinney onto the show. And thanks so much for joining us. I'm Noah Eagle.
And I'm Jack Watson. Have a great night.